Let's give a round of applause for our graduates. Un aplauso, por favor. Graduates, go ahead and take your seat. Welcome. Buenas tardes. Bienvenidos. I'm Magdalena Fonseca, and I'm the Associate Director for the Samuel E. Kelly Ethnic Cultural Center. I'm also a two-time graduate of the University of Washington, and I am honored to be here today. That's right. Thank you. I'm honored to be here today celebrating with you all on this happy occasion. Again, congratulations, graduates. Today's celebration is a dedication to nuestra comunidad. It is a credit to our graduates' hard work, endless hours, and ceaseless efforts to complete their academic goals at the University of Washington. Their accomplishments is a big win for them, our families, and our community. Parents, faculty, and staff, and invited guests, it is because of you and your support and your commitment to these graduates that they stand before you today to be recognized for their academic success. Your encouragement, dedication, and your never-ending support brought them to this moment. Thank you. Earlier this week, someone asked me, what was your most memorable graduation? And I thought about how I would answer that question. And I thought, I've been at the University of Washington for over 15 years. Between myself, my siblings, my families, the students that I work with, I have probably been to over 100 graduations. And it's been a blessing to have attended all of them. And I'm very honored to have been invited by those students to celebrate their big day with them. But what came to mind was the very first graduation that I ever attended. And that was the graduation of my older brother Carlos's high school graduation. And that was in 1990. This graduation has been the most impactful to me and my family and in our lives. Coming from a tight-knit family of 11 who worked as undocumented farm workers, his graduation was a milestone for my family. His graduation, my siblings, thereafter changed the socioeconomic outcomes of our family. It meant that we had choices for employment, a lot more than working in the fields. It brought us up one step closer to achieving our American goal. Now, graduates, many of you have similar stories to mine. When you came to campus, you brought the hopes and dreams of your family with you. And I know that they are proud of you today as you walk across that stage. Your graduation is a milestone for you and your family, and the Latino community as well. Today you join the ranks of the ever-growing population of educated Latinos. In fact, over 830 Latino students are graduating from the university alone, and this is Seattle, Tacoma, and Bothell campuses. And that's a great feat. It's very encouraging and something to be proud of. We celebrate you today for all that you do, for all that you stand for, and what you will be in the future. And for the parents, our faculty and staff have cared deeply about the students that walk through those doors, because for many of us, our student stories were once our story. We have sat in the same seat that they are in today. We have done our best to take care of them, to take care of your kid as if they were one of our own. As freshmen, we welcome them warmly into our Husky family. And as they leave campus, we are confident that they will succeed in their next adventure. We have done all that we can. You have done all that you can. And I think we can say that we are one proud Latino community. Graduates, you did it. Sí se pudo. Once again, welcome. And now let's get the celebration started. Okay, so for our first speaker, I would like to invite Felicity Abeta Hendricks. She has a master's in social work, and she is the co-chair of the Latino Faculty Staff Association. Felicity, would you come join me?
I am so excited to be here as I saw the graduates walk down to see everyone that some of you I've met since I was 15 years old, when you were 15 years old. And so it's such a blessing for me to be here and to welcome class of 2015. Representing the Latino Faculty and Staff Association as a co-chair. This is my first time being a co-chair for anything. Being a single parent and then graduating, and then I also landed a really good job here at UW. I just had to say thank you for the people before me. There was 7 years before me who helped me get to where I'm at right now. And to see my mentors in the crowd, Jesus, who also helped me after I graduated to how to be a single parent while working and managing time. So I have to say, LFSA means so much more than association, just like your unions and your clubs and your organizations, that we're here to recruit you, but we want you to fulfill all the dreams that you have before you come back to UW, because you get to pour that into the students that you're going to be mentoring. And so the Latino Faculty and Staff Association, we work on retention, we work on creating events and empowerment for the faculty and staff so we can continue to work here, we can continue to move up the ladder, and we continue to encourage the students and mentor you. And so we welcome you again. And I would like to also thank our board of directors. We have co-chairs, as well as we have Julia Valijas, Norma Alicia Peñon, and Norma Rodriguez, who also worked together in making this happen. And you'll get to meet the other co-chair, Michelle, in a few minutes. But I wanted to also let you know that we are breaking the cycle of oppression with our people. And I want you to continue to break that oppression. It's not easy. And we continue to do that by going to school and by doing the goals. Sometimes we kind of forget what our goal is, but that's why we have LFSA, and that's why you have student organizations and you have alumni to come together to remember your goals. Because they don't change. Mine have not changed from when I was young and I saw disparities in my family, and I see that my family suffer with chronic diseases that I might not be able to heal, but I can influence the next generation to continue to do promotion in health. Some of us were asked very young in life to be in gangs and to maybe try drugs, but you chose not to. You broke that cycle by saying no, and you continue to be that role model when you return. And also right now, I know your primos and your sisters and your brothers are all looking at college for you, because you did it. No matter what, even if they haven't told you, they think of you as a good influence. And so instead of being in the VL or 13, you're in LSU, you're in LMSA, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. As we go up the mountain together, I try to always turn around, because 7 generations before me, I also had to influence the generations behind me. So thank you for joining the team on that. And all of us here have been doing that for a long time, and we're here to help you and show you how to do that. So thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you, Felicity. Our first student speaker is graduating with a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and Latin American and Caribbean Studies. Yuri Cortes is receiving, and is double majoring in Comparative History of Ideas and Diversity. Yuri is a Ronald E. McNair Scholar and a Mary Gates Scholar as well. She is passionate about social justice whenever she is not in class, working on her research, or at work. Yuri maintains active in her community and in Mecha, advocating and promoting for social justice. After graduation, Yuri will continue to work as an ambassador, work on her education to pursue a master's degree in foreign policy and foreign administration. She plans to be in the a U.S. ambassador and working directly with U.S. and Latin American relations. Please welcome Yuri Cortes.
Okay, so I have to adjust that. Okay. Okay, so so before I begin, I just want to briefly say that my speech is going to be in Spanish, so I do apologize for those that don't understand what I'm going to say, but I'm sure other speakers will touch on similar topics. So, buenas tardes, es un honor estar aquí presente. Primero que nada, quisiera darle las gracias a todos los padres, amigos y familiares de todos los graduantes que están hoy aquí. Muchísimas gracias por su apoyo, amor y sobre todo tolerancia. Quiero que tomemos un momento para mirar hacia alrededor y darnos cuenta de la fuerza de la unión y de la raza. Solo hay que ver este cuarto, lo lleno que está de todas estas personas que están aquí y que con su apoyo hemos logrado lo que hemos luchado tanto por lograr. Como ven, no estamos solos, nunca lo estuvimos. Siempre estuvo alguien a nuestro lado apoyándonos, dándonos palabras de aliento y también hasta en veces dándonos un jalón de orejas para que nos enderezáramos. Y de esto justo es lo que quiero hablar hoy, del poder de la unión y de ese miedo que nos paraliza, el cual solo es superficial. Justo ayer yo experimenté ese miedo paralítico del cual me refiero. Ya estando adentro de mi ceremonia de graduación, a punto de recibir mi certificado del Departamento de Ciencias Políticas, me entró ese miedo. Qué irónico, ¿no? Ahí estaba yo formada, lista para entrar a la ceremonia y recibir ese famoso papel que tanto esfuerzo me causó y con unas ganas inmensas de salir volando. Y sí, ese miedo me vino justamente después de haber entrado al salón y darme cuenta de que yo era la única mujer latina entre casi los 300 estudiantes a punto de graduarse con ese diploma de ese departamento. Afortunadamente no corrí. Después de haber recibido el mensaje de una amiga diciéndome que no tenía por qué sentirme así, porque yo también merecía ese reconocimiento y yo también tenía ese mismo derecho de formar parte de esa ceremonia al igual que ellos. Y el punto es que sí, todos y cada uno de nosotros tenemos ese mismo derecho de estar aquí en este lugar a punto de graduarnos y recibir ese diploma, porque no lo merecemos, ¿no? Y no tenemos por qué sentirnos incapaces de ser exitosos o de ser reconocidos por nuestros esfuerzos, que con fuerza, dolor y en veces hasta sudor los hemos logrado. Y para eso es importante que no olvidemos una frase, la cual creo que la mayoría de nosotros hemos escuchado, esa que dice que no importa a dónde uno vaya, lo que importa es nunca olvidar de dónde uno vino. Y eso es muy importante, porque no tengo la menor duda de que todos tenemos la capacidad de ser grandiosos y exitosos en la vida. Pero varias veces de tan arriba, pocos volteamos a ver hacia abajo. Y esas personas o comunidades que alguna vez fueron parte de nuestra historia y juntos, con su apoyo, nos ayudaron a salir adelante, se nos olvidan. Y no debe de ser así. Por eso hoy los reto a que no nos olvidemos de dónde y quién somos, para que ahora que hayamos terminado nuestra carrera, o quizás para muchos, una gran parte de ella, trabajemos juntos apoyándonos y fortaleciéndonos unos a los otros para cambiar las cosas que sistemáticamente afectan a nuestra raza latina, que nos marginaliza y nos oprime, para que entonces seamos nosotros los que en el futuro tomemos esos cargos de poder y cambiemos este sistema que nos excluye día a día. Y esto no solo va para esos que aspiran a ser políticos o abogados. No, sorry, this is also for medics and artists and all the others not mentioned. Todos tenemos la capacidad de cambiar el mundo, porque nosotros también lo merecemos. Y también merecemos ser parte de esta sociedad. Así que hay que dejar el miedo a un lado y hay que unirnos para hacer el bien, porque la unión hace la fuerza. Sí se puede, sí se pudo. Gracias.
Thank you, Yuri. Okay. Our next speaker is Jessica Ramirez. Jessica Ramirez was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas. As a non-traditional student at 31 years old, her return to higher education was found in her desire to understand Chicanoism. As an undergraduate at the University of Washington, her work and her research focused on Latinos working in the United States. She is a community organizer that got her start in political organization, Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán, MECHA. And because of her commitment to workers' rights that brought the Boycott Sakuma Berries campaign to the UW campus. Jessica is graduating with a bachelor's degree in American Ethnic Studies and a minor in Labor Studies and Law, Society, and Justice. She is the first in her family to graduate from college. Post-graduation, Jessica wishes to continue working within the labor movement and with farm workers from Familias Unidas por la Justicia as they fight for a union contract. Please welcome Jessica Ramirez.
Good afternoon, everyone. Graduates of 2015, it is my pleasure and honor to be here with you today. And supporters, thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for everything that you have given these students so they can be at the finish line. My name is Jessica Ramirez. My start as a community organizer began rather recently, but I can think of a few examples where community service at a younger age might have contributed to where I am today. Perhaps it was when I served Thanksgiving dinner at homeless shelters, or maybe it's when as a family we sang Christmas carols to teens at juvenile detention centers. I can't quite pinpoint the moment, but what I do know is that somewhere between here and there, instead of serving marginalized communities in the spaces that kept them down, I wanted to work in spaces that made them powerful. In the weeks after our graduation, we will slowly re-enter ourselves into society by getting jobs, contributing to the local economy, and moving to places where the mentality is different from that of our own. As students, many of us have been exposed to some amazing truths. Truths that say being Black is not a crime. Truths that say the pull yourself up from your bootstraps model doesn't work. Truths that tell us we need to change the way people earn wages and live in this country. And truths that tell us we need to reimagine how we take care of our Tierra Madre. I want you all, the powerful brown people that you are, to remember some of these truths as you move forward. There is an activist and an advocate in each and every one of you. I want you to take into account that your contribution to your community makes a huge difference. Whether it's calling in a coworker for microaggressions, talking to the store manager about why they shouldn't sell Driscoll berries, or joining the beautiful people out on the Shell No campaign in the Port of Seattle, please know that what you're doing is grand, that contributing to society in this way creates the ripples that makes waves. You all have a privilege. I want you to use it. And as for me, the way I use my privilege is that I use my unique power as a student to organize alongside farm workers in the Skagit Valley. They are boycotting their farm that they work for, Sakuma Brothers, because of wage theft, racial harassment, and poverty wages. Farm workers provide us with life, and that is providing our food. Don't they deserve more? Members of Familias Unidas are on the front line every day, fighting this battle against Sakuma Brothers Farm. They take time off work with no pay to teach me and others how I can advocate for them. Unafraid of documentation status, they go to Olympia to lobby and talk to representatives who they know might not help them, but they do it anyway. It's in their leadership that I find inspiration to fight alongside them. And it's in their strength and dedication that I want you to think about how you continue to move within your community. Felicidades a todos, and may your journey continue to enlighten you and make you powerful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Our next speaker is Dr. Michelle Habel-Payan. She is an associate professor in the Gender, Women, and Sexual Studies program and an adjunct in the School of Music. Her book, Loca Motion, The Travels of Chicana and Latina Popular Culture, received an MLA Book Prize honorable mention. Her edited collection, Latino and Latina Popular Culture, is widely assigned in her role as guest curator of the award-winning bilingual traveling exhibit, American Sabor. U.S. Latinos in Popular Music, a collaboration between the University of Washington, the Experience Music Project Museum, and the Smithsonian Institution Traveling Exhibit Service. She is engaged in developing public humanities projects. For more on Dr. Habel-Payan, you can, if you're still a student here, you can take one of her courses. I highly recommend it. And you can also visit her website, but please welcome Dr. Michelle Habel-Payan.
Thank you, Maggie, and buenas tardes a todos, felicidades a todas y todos. Y voy a hablar en inglés, lo siento, pero soy tercera generación Mexico-americana y por eso I don't speak Spanish very well. So, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this celebration. I'm honored to be here as we take this moment to recognize your profound achievement. Being here with you and knowing how deeply our communities and the world needs your vision, your heart, and your soul, I am filled with hope and joy. To see you all here makes all the sacrifices that your parents and my parents made and the parents before them made worth it. Never in my wildest dreams would I imagine that I would become a professor of Chicana and Chicano cultural studies and gender, women, and sexuality studies, much less know how much my life would be enriched by having the privilege of teaching and learning from such talented and dedicated students as you all. We are in dialogue together at this university, learning knowledge, revising knowledge, and most excitingly, creating new knowledges to bring light into the shadows. In some ways, we can think of the university as a large garden where seeds of knowledge and healing are planted. And through our careful tending, the roots of these seeds go deep into the earth and the stems reach high into the sky. To grow these seeds of knowledge, to grow these knowledge seeds, these seeds need nourishment. They need water, sunlight, and shelter from the cold and harsh conditions. And of course, above all, love. A huge community is needed to grow this knowledge. Every single person in this room, even if it is the first time on campus here at the University of Washington, is part of this process of growing knowledge. You all have provided shelter for all of us in some way or not. And right now, I'd like us to thank the parents that are with us here now, those who can't be with us, and those who are watching us from above. So without them providing this nourishment, light, shelter, and love, these seeds of knowledge could not grow. So thank you, parents, and everybody turn around and wave to your parents and thank them, please. Gracias a los padres. And students, now that you've been a vital part of this process, please know it is one that will never end, that you will continue to nurture these seeds of knowledge and share the fruit born of these seeds with many, many, many people who cross your life paths. And as graduates, I want this information to sink in because it is directly about you and the seeds of knowledge that you each have planted and that you will continue to nurture and that you will share. And I had a PowerPoint, but I have bad karma, tech karma, so it's not gonna work. But I want you to hear these statistics. Currently, 16% of Latino adults over 25 have an associate or bachelor's degree, compared to 38% of all adults in that age group. So 16% compared to 38%. In 2012, 7% of all master degrees were awarded to Latinos. So 7% out of 100%. In 2013, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, 0.5% of the Latino, 0.5 of the population held PhD degrees. So you sitting here right with us in front of us are a very special group, very privileged group. You've made it despite everything, and you've found a will and a way to keep moving and bring your experiences here to the university to transform and expand knowledge. You have proven the dicho, donde hay gana, hay maña, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. You have done this through hard work, but also with the support of family, friends, and mentors from every walk of life. So please continue to be a mentor that shares these seeds of knowledge. You have something very precious. This idea gets to the root of today's theme of the graduation, community and empowerment. We are all in this together, and you are charged to widen the circle of community and empowerment. And I don't want us to be discouraged by our number of graduates, even though we compose 14% of the population. We are growing fast, and we are catching up fast, but never fast enough, right? I'm impatient. And I'd like, so just knowing those numbers, though, I'd like you to take this quote to heart. Mucha gente pequeña en lugares pequeños haciendo cosas pequeñas pueden cambiar al mundo. And this is reiterating what other students have said today. Many small people in small places doing small things can change the world. This is a quote from Eduardo Galeano. Think of a small movement of campesinos in Delano, California, when they organized with Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez to demand and get more humane working conditions for migrant workers, for campesinos and their children. They were a relatively small group, but they made significant changes in California and for other communities, obviously. Think of the Young Student Dreamers Collective who organized and agitated for the passing of the Washington Dream Act, of course, which brought down significant barriers for undocumented students who can now pay in-state tuition and are eligible for federal financial aid, student aid. They have set an example for other communities, and this is you, and we are allies with you. And so that is, again, a small movement that has enormous effects. All of these people who were so deeply committed in their organization knew this saying very well, that caminante, no hay puentes, se hace puentes al andar. Voyager, there are no bridges, one builds them as you walk. And so in community and for community, they've forged a new path. The path may not always be clear for you also, but you will make it happen, and you will have to make it happen. I'm so sad the art didn't come up. It was produced that I wanted to show by Juliet Olivas, who's graduating here. But just imagine one of her beautiful art pieces as I'm saying these next words. Many of you who have taken my courses know that we explore the ways in which community knowledge is embedded within culture. It is enfolded within visual art, within music, within the sharing of food. These forms are also seeds of communal knowledge and healing that are just as important as written forms. They contain knowledge that might have been forgotten if we had not played or danced with them. These forms offer alternative visions of reality than the ones we see on television, films, or on our smartphones and innumerable devices that I can't get away from anymore. No matter what profession you enter, graduates, be it whether education, business, the medical field, law, my wish for you is that you maintain a community connection by keeping connected to these communal practices of art, music, food. This might seem like a very different image of revolution we see in film, but it is, or of television or popular culture, but it is revolutionary. Why is this important? And I will revise another quote from Edward Galeano once again. One writes, learns, heals, dances, plays, and sings out of a need to communicate and commune with others, to denounce that which gives pain, and to share that which gives happiness. So we write out of this, and we learn out of this desire, and we share out of this desire, and we create new knowledges out of this desire. And my translation, I had all the translations on the slide, so I'm very sorry. But if you could see Julie's art, you will see clearly that she is following her heart, and I encourage you to do the same. La que por su gusto corre, nunca se cansa. For basically, when you do something for pleasure, it doesn't tire you out. And that's something to keep in mind, because this world is full of light, so much light, but also shadows. And as all of you have learned here at the university and from other places, of course, light always presides. But you're going to need that energy, that you're going to need to follow your heart. And I'm going to pair this with another saying from another Mexican dicho that is now forever aligned with the students of Ayotzinapa. Quisieron enterrarnos, pero les olvido que somos semillas. They wanted to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They let's let their families and their communities be guides to us as we ally with them and support them in their battles against the shadows, because the battle does not affect them, but all of us. And I want to conclude on a note of hope for your very bright future. And I want to end with another seed metaphor from a song that reminds us of the importance of gardening, of tending to our knowledge seeds and everything that you have within you now. The seed that you forgot you sowed is now a tree that protects you from the cold, right? La semilla que alguna vez olvidaste haber sembrado, algún día será el árbol que te protegerá del frío. Please know that you have planted a seed here. We will be here for you always, and hope that you will come and be here for others too. Good luck, graduates. You deserve this more than you can imagine. And I always get choked up because I'm a mom, so that part of me. But I just want to wish you well and just wish you the most prosperous life, and to bloom, and to not forget that you have a community here and that we are a circle. And so I hope to see you soon after you graduate. Tell us about your great lives.
Okay, our last and final speaker, Irene Monica Sanchez. Irene Sanchez is Chicana, mama to a precious child named Quetzal, a student and teacher, Aztec Mexica danzante, poet and writer. She is finishing her PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy Studies, Higher Education at the University of Washington Seattle campus. Irene began her higher education journey at Riverside Community College in her hometown, Riverside, California. She transferred after 5 years to UC Santa Cruz, where she received her bachelor's in sociology and Latin American Latino studies in 2008. In 2011, she received her master's in education from UW in the same program her PhD is in. She holds a graduate certificate in feminist studies and is finishing another certificate in public scholarship. She has remained active and involved in her community since her youth, Irene believes education has the potential to empower and liberate people and communities, and is committed to continue to do work that matters as she serves others with her PhD. Please welcome Irene Sanchez.
Good afternoon. So when you see me now, you see this degree, a Chicano with a PhD. The importance of this accomplishment is one that, like yours, involves sacrifice, commitment, many tears, and struggles and transformation. But at the end of the day, what does this journey mean? This is a question you may ask, and I have asked myself every single time I wanted to give up. Because trust me, 7 years here, there was many. I grew up in Southern California in a community called Jurupa. My parents were born and raised in East Los Angeles and moved us to the Inland Empire when I was young. My grandparents are from Mexico, and I am proudly Chicana. I often call my parents my first Chicano studies professors. All the lessons I learned from my lived experiences began with my family, and they remain some of the most important lessons I carry with me today, especially in terms of transformation, creating, and redefining. These lessons inspire me to remember the sacrifice that many people who came before me made, and the responsibility now that I hold not just to myself, to my family, or to my own son as a single mother now, but always to my community. To you, and to collectively work for social justice, to challenge oppression wherever it may be, and make this world a better place. This has been the driving force behind why I'm standing here today. Because I can assure you, like I said, there are many times when I didn't think I would make it here. But because I had made this commitment almost 10 years ago to pursue a PhD, I remained hopeful and I didn't give up. Education is not only found within the walls of the institution that was never meant for us to exist in to begin with, but we subvert, we learn to navigate, we learn to challenge just with the fact that even, yes, I am here, you are here, we are here, we are here. But this graduation or completion of a degree is not when learning or education stops. It never stops. I go a lot to Brazilian educator Paulo Freire since I was in community college. He says, quote, "For apart from inquiry, apart from praxis, individuals cannot be truly human. Knowledge emerges only through invention and reinvention, through the restless, impatient, continually hopeful inquiry of human beings pursuing the world, and with each other." And Freire's work inspires me to share my story a little more. I struggled as a high school student. I barely graduated high school. I was almost kicked out my senior year. I went on to community college. I moved out of my parents' home the day I turned 18. I got married soon after. I got divorced later, but that's another story, not today. And I ended up on academic probation and dismissal my first year of college. So they kicked me out of community college. I saw statistics that told me it was impossible to transfer for us as Chicano Latino people because the majority of us are in community colleges. We're not here at places like UW. And so I ended up returning a year later, and I found ethnic studies again, I found my community, I found Mecha when I was in community college, and for the first time in my life, very soon after I returned, I got straight A's for the first time in my life. It took me 5 years to transfer to a university. Towards the end of community college, I had read a report that out of all the PhDs awarded in the country, only 0.02% go to those of Mexican descent. So Mexicanos or Chicanos, so anyone who has family origins from Mexico. So if you take Latino, Latinas as a whole, it's between 0.04 to 0.06%. So like Dr. Michelle Bayan said, like 0.05. So we're not even a percent of all PhDs earned in this country. And so how many of you here, if you think back to UW, had a professor you could relate to? I know I was TA'd for some of you that are ending now, or some of you in this room. But besides me being a TA, think about how many professors we have here. And how can more of us be here at this institution if we are, and our communities are and continue to be historically and systematically denied access to education? There are more of us here now than when I started here 7 years ago in 2008. But what will you do to make sure that these doors stay open? Only about 6% of undergrads at UW are Latino, Latina students. How can we continue to work to empower ourselves and our community through education? I think it is like Paulo Freire says, we learn from one another. I urge you to write your own story, to tell your own story, to make your own story, to not live by the constraints of what anyone tells you, who you are, or who you should be. to challenge the dominant narrative that tells us as Chicanos, Chicanas, and Latino, Latinas that we do not belong, that we are less than human because of who we are, because of our language, because of our culture, because of our gender or our sexuality. A few months ago, I was feeling lost. I had stopped writing. Dissertations are very long. I had just come out of surviving many things the past few years, and I felt I had lost my community here in Seattle. So this PhD and the work I'm doing, writing about Latino, Latina community college students and how they can help us redefine success in higher ed, never lost its meaning, but I felt very isolated. And any PhD student can tell you that it is an isolating process, especially when there's not that many of us that look like us. So a few months ago, I ended up learning about the Caravana 43, and that was when I started getting out again, more than I was before. So in Guerrero, Mexico, there are 43 missing students, and the students and parents came here to Seattle, and they had this to share. And it is a welcome that the students receive when they're being welcomed to the school. And it goes, welcome to what has no beginning, welcome to what has no end, welcome to the eternal struggle. Some may call it stubbornness, but we call it hope. This is important because when we move past this room and Seattle to see how we are all connected, we can see that this struggle for social justice doesn't end with the degrees. It doesn't end with our community here. It doesn't end because of borders. And we can't ignore that there are larger issues in Latin America, the world, or right here in the US, where there remain 11 million undocumented people that need legalization because they are human. Because there are conditions put in place that cause people to migrate and oppression put in place that cause this on a larger scale. Oppression needs to be fought on a larger scale. This involvement in the Caravana 43 reminded that yes, the struggle is eternal, it is a commitment, and it is our collective responsibility. I leave you with this. Eduardo Galeano. It's a different quote, though. It's my favorite one. It's a system of power that is always deciding in the name of humanity who deserves to be remembered and who deserves to be forgotten. We are much more than we are told. We are much more beautiful. So tell your story, share your experiences, connect with one another, build community, continue to work for social justice, and to break down these physical and mental borders that they use to divide us, and always remember, you are and you have always been much more than you were told. Thank you.
Thank you, Irene. Okay, please help me welcome Santiago Ramos, who is a representative from the Alumni Association Multicultural Alumni Partnership. They are proud sponsors of today's graduation. Santiago.
Wow, that's a tough act to follow. My speech is going to be much shorter and a little more precise, but let's give another round of applause. That's amazing. Good evening. My name is Santiago Ramos. I'm a board member of the UW Alumni Association Multicultural Partnership. The mission of MAP is to promote diversity within the alumni community and the university overall. Our largest MAP event happens every year during homecoming. It's our MAP breakfast. Historically, it's been the largest homecoming event and the largest diversity event on campus. I'm here tonight because we understand that this celebration is a special occasion for during the commencement week for you and your family. MAP is committed to supporting this event, so we're so proud of you and all your accomplishments. To all the graduates, on behalf of MAP, I want to congratulate you and wish you the best in your bright futures. I want to take a moment of privilege, and I want to personally say thank you for making it here, for doing all your hard work. I was in your shoes 12, 13 years ago, and I know it was hard to get there, and I understand what you went through, and I want to give you another round of applause and say thank you so much for all your hard work, and go out there, do this for your family, be an inspiration for others, and just keep going. And I know it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. Again, everyone, please help me give them a round of applause. Thank you.
And that's going to conclude our speakers for today. So now the moment that everybody's been waiting for, the recognition of our graduates. So I would like to call on Dr. Marisa Herrera.
Thank you, Maggie. So first, before we start, I wanted to take a time to just recognize something that I think is tremendously significant. Irene, Dr. Irene came up a little bit ago, and I think I would be remiss if we didn't recognize the doctoral candidates and those that have passed their candidacy and are now a doctor, as well as all of our master's students. So if I can get all of our doctoral students that are graduated up here, as well as our master's students, if they could come up and line up. Let's give all these graduate students a round of applause. I don't know what the percentage is of those that go on to continue their graduate studies, but for all those students that are undergrads that are getting their degrees this weekend, you should aspire to this. Continue to go, continue to strengthen the pipeline, because we're trying to open up those doors for you with every single graduate student that continues on through UW. So congratulations. All right, we're gonna try this out really quickly. So what we're gonna have you all do is stand up, and my assistant here is gonna help me out. Go ahead, yeah, can stand, yes. All the graduates, please rise. All right. Dr. Irene Monica Sanchez. Yeah, and turn. Yeah, and then you can go. Dr. Jose Hernandez. Dr. Ismael Fajardo. And Edina Tavares, who's receiving her master's degree from the University of Washington. Okay. Elizabeth Ramirez Ariola, who is getting her master's degree in feminist studies. Andres Huante, who is getting his Master's of Education. Eileen Ellie Yolanda Mata, who is getting her master's degree in Education and Policy. Yay, congratulations. Natalie Hart, who is getting her master's degree in Education Policy. Bailey Warrior, who's getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology and Spanish. Noelle Diaz, who is getting her bachelor's degree in public health with a minor in nutrition. Yuriana Garcia Tellez, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Human-Centered Design and Engineering. Sorry, congratulations. Carmen Ruby Bruders Torres, who is getting her bachelor's degree in Law, Societies, and Justice. Jessica Martinez, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Public Health. Mary Lou Bueno, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in History. Jessica Mercado, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in American Ethnic Studies. Okay. Mario Sanchez, who is getting his Bachelor's of Arts in Social Work. Congratulations. High five. Tiffany Armijo, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Social Work. Soledad Sinsun, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Anthropology. Jasmine Amalguer, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Social Welfare with a double minor in Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies and Diversity. Congratulations. Gilberto Munoz, who is getting his Bachelor's of Arts in Geography with a minor in Diversity. Lisette Melendez, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Medical Anthropology and Global Health. Elizabeth Ramirez, who is getting her Bachelor's of Arts in Early Childhood and Family Studies. Juan P. Guerrero, who is getting his Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology with a minor in Spanish. Anilka Trijero, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Geography with a minor in Global Health. Atenas Figueroa, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Geography with a minor in Spanish. Vanessa Garcia, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Business and American Ethnic Studies. Diana Conde, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Business Administration and Finance. Cindy Jara, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Biochemistry and Microbiology. Norma Domingo, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Business with a focus in Finance and Human Resources. Noe Quesada Miramontes, who's getting his Bachelor's degree in Medical Anthropology and Global Health. Congratulations. Veronica Pulayo, who's getting her Bachelor's degree in Drama, Performance, and Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies. Marion Romero, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Environmental Studies. Jessica Ramirez, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in American Ethnic Studies. Alejandra Juliet Olivas, who is getting her Bachelor's degree in Gender, Women, and Sexuality and Comparative History of Ideas. Jose Carmona, who is getting his Bachelor's degree in Public Health. David Gutierrez, who is getting his bachelor's degree in informatics with a minor in law, societies, and justice. Alfredo Gomez, who is getting his bachelor's degree in finance and business administration. Daniel Wante, who is getting his bachelor's degree in communication and American ethnic studies with minors in diversity and education, learning, and society. Yay. Brittany Sanchez Govea, who is getting her bachelor's degree in English. Karina Lucas Fernandez, who is getting her bachelor's degree in chemistry, biochemistry, and sociology. Tamara Alcala Dominguez, who is getting her bachelor's degree in neurobiology, medical anthropology, and global health. Mercedes Delgado, who is getting her bachelor's degree in sociology. Antonio Reina, who is getting his bachelor's degree in law, societies, and justice.
Thank you.
Veronica Isabel Rodriguez, who is getting her bachelor's degree in Italian. Luis Arellano, who is getting his bachelor's degree in medical anthropology and global health. Luz Delgado, who is getting her bachelor's degree in American ethnic studies and Spanish. Laura Godoy, who is getting her bachelor's degree in sociology and gender, women, and sexuality studies. Alejandra Suazo, who is getting her bachelor's degree in sociology, gender, women, and sexuality studies. Maria de la Luz Guillen, who is getting her bachelor's degree in gender, women, and sexuality studies. Yuri Cortez, who is getting her bachelor's degree in political science and Latin American and Caribbean studies. Congratulations. Ana Talavera, who is getting her bachelor's degree in sociology with a minor in diversity. Monica Sanchez, who is getting her bachelor's degree in Spanish. Wendy Gord, who is getting her bachelor's degree in psychology and biology. And she received cum laude and departmental honors with her Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology and her Bachelor of Science in Biology. Alejandra Silva Hernandez, who is receiving her Bachelor's of Arts in Microbiology. Corina Quesada, who is getting her bachelor's degree in American Ethnic Studies and Communications. Yvette Vanessa Aguilera, who is getting her bachelor's degree in Business Administration and with a focus in Finance and Marketing. Erica Sanchez Santos, who is getting her bachelor's degree in Biology and Public Health. Francis Martinez, who is getting her bachelor's in Public Health with a minor in Geography. Alan Lopez, who is getting his bachelor's degree in general biology, a bachelor of science in general biology, and a bachelor's of arts in medical anthropology and global health with a chemistry minor. Good job. Linda Guijosa, who's receiving her bachelor's degree in American Ethnic Studies. Congratulations. Laura Batista, who is receiving her bachelor's degree in public health. Adrian Diaz, who is receiving his Bachelor of Science in Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology with a Bachelor's of Arts also in Italian Studies. Okay, graduates, if you could do me one favor, if you could stand up and turn to your families, your friends, people on TV, and wave at them, kiss them, thank them for all the hard work. Si se puede. So, okay. So all of your certificates will be available after the event, just outside. So to make sure that everybody knows that. But congratulations, we are extremely proud of you. Congratulations, class of 2015. We know that your graduation is this weekend, but this feels significant. So congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You have achieved something tremendous. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, graduates, go ahead and take a seat. One last thing, we're almost done. Before we dismiss you to go across the street and have a delicious dinner with your family and friends, take photos and just have a great evening, I would like to call one last person up, and that is Felicia. Where's Felicia? There she is, okay. Felicia, please come up, and she's going to say a few parting words for our participants.
I'll be quick, I promise. Congratulations, graduates. I'm happy to see so many of your friends and family here to celebrate your accomplishments. Graduation is definitely one of the most look forward to events that the Commission puts on, and it has been great fun. I would like to thank the Latino Faculty and Staff Association, the Samuel E. Ethnic Cultural Center staff, and the Multicultural Alumni Partnership for their help. Without further ado, I would like to introduce the 2015-2016 La Raza Commission Director, Leo Carmona.
Wow. Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome everyone. I'm actually really excited right now, even though it doesn't seem like it. Before anything, I really want to congratulate one more time our graduates. So can we give it up for them one more time? So the reason why I'm a little emotional but also really excited is that this is really inspiring for me. This is really inspiring for a lot of us. Esto es muy, lo voy a hacer en dos lenguas porque como tengo entendido es la raza. Entonces we gotta make it bilingual, you know. This is really inspiring for me and for many of us who are continuing our path to be here. So thank you. I really want to appreciate you all for making it here, not just for you, but for many of us. Les quiero dar las gracias por por este logro y por llegar aquí, no solo por ustedes, sino también por muchos que seguimos continuando esta jornada de llegar a este evento, a este día. It's really my honor to take this position. Es mi honor tomar esta posición. I really want to, I'm confident that I will do my best to fulfill, all the great things that la raza does. Quiero decir que es mi honor de tomar esta posición y hacer todo lo que lo mío para hacer un buen trabajo. I really want to thank Felicia for doing such an amazing job this last year. So can we give it up for Felicia? And so there's really no words. No hay palabras para describir todo lo que siento, cómo me siento de inspirado, de motivado y de ganas para seguir adelante. Y and I know that you will always be back at your communities and keep inspiring people, the next generation and the current generation. So thank you. And so, thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Leo and Felicia. Okay, so this concludes our program. I invite all of the graduates, your families, friends, faculty and staff, all of our invited guests to please join us across the street to the Ethnic Cultural Center for a dinner. Seating is open, so just come out and find a spot, and we will have servers to come to your table to serve dinner for you. Graduates, please make sure that you help guide your families. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all.